US President Donald Trump has doubled down on sweeping tariffs against European countries opposing his Greenland acquisition plan as NATO allies and the EU push back. An intense cold wave has gripped the country as Tuesday marks the coldest day of the year on Korea's traditional calendar, with sub-zero temperatures expected to persist throughout the week. President Lee Jae-myung called for a thorough investigation on alleged illegal drone infiltration by civilians into North Korea, remarking on the seriousness of the issue. US President Donald Trump has reaffirmed that he will 100% impose tariffs on European countries that oppose the US acquisition of Greenland. Denmark's defense minister has proposed separate plans, apparently to alleviate Trump's security concerns, ahead of an EU leaders summit meeting to discuss retaliatory options. Park Jun-an has more.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday reaffirmed that tariffs on countries that oppose his plans to acquire Greenland would be fully implemented unless an agreement is reached. He has repeatedly said that U.S. control of Greenland is vital for national security and to protect against external threats. With U.S. security central to Trump's plan, Denmark's defense minister Troels Lund Poulsen on Monday proposed a NATO surveillance mission in Greenland, signaling that European NATO allies are taking Arctic defense seriously. Poulsen, alongside Greenland's foreign minister, met with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte in Brussels, where Rutte expressed hope that a framework could be established. Trump's tariffs, which are set to begin at 10% on February 1st and rise to 25% by June 1st, target 8 countries, including Denmark, Sweden, and France. Taking to social media, EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Kaja Kallas, reiterated that Arctic security is a shared transatlantic interest, but stressed that tariff threats are not the right approach. She emphasized that the EU has no interest in picking a fight, but will hold its ground, adding that it has a range of tools to protect its interests. Meanwhile, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, dismissed European retaliatory tariffs as very unwise.
The president is looking at Greenland as a strategic asset for the United States. We are not going to outsource our hemispheric security to anyone else. I think it would be very unwise. So thank you.
Right. EU leaders will hold a summit on Thursday where options, including a tariff on U.S. goods worth around $108 billion, will be discussed. Trump will address the WEF on Wednesday as the standoff shows no signs of easing. Park Jun-an, Arirang News.
The International Monetary Fund has revised up its forecast for South Korea's economic growth to 1.9% this year. The 0.1 percentage point increase from its October projection reflects expectations of a gradual recovery in the Korean economy. Kim Jun-ong has the details.
The International Monetary Fund has once again raised its growth outlook for South Korea, projecting the economy to expand 1.9% this year. In its January World Economic Outlook released Monday, the IMF said the forecast represents a 0.1 percentage point upgrade from October. The forecast exceeds the 1.8% average for advanced economies, reflecting a steady upward adjustment in South Korea's growth outlook. Experts attribute the revision primarily to robust semiconductor performance.
While some areas of the economy remain sluggish, semiconductor exports have continued to lead growth. Rapid gains in chip prices are likely to drive a significant portion of this year's expansion of exports, with memory semiconductor prices projected to rise by up to 70%.
Global economic growth is projected at 3.3% for both last year and this year, following upward revisions of 0.1 and 0.2 percentage points, respectively. Among major economies, the U.S. is projected to have grown 2.1% last year and grow 2.4% this year, backed by fiscal stimulus and easing monetary conditions. China is seen growing 5% last year and 4.5% this year, aided by government stimulus and easing U.S. tariff pressures. Global inflation is seen on a continued downward path, helped by softer energy prices. The IMF expects global inflation to have eased to 4.1% last year and to 3.8% this year, signaling a gradual deceleration. The IMF warned that the global economy remains vulnerable to downside risks, noting that shortfalls in AI-driven productivity and profit gains could trigger market volatility and spill over into the real economy. Kim Junong, Arirang News.
South Korea's producer prices rose for the fourth straight month in December, despite a decline in global energy prices, as the weaker won continued to push up costs. According to the Bank of Korea on Tuesday, the producer price index stood at 121.76 in December, up 0.4% from the previous month and 1.9% on year. Farm and fishery products were up 3.4% from the previous month, with apple prices surging nearly 20%. Among manufactured goods, prices of computers, electronic and optical equipment rose 2.3%, led by a 15.1% increase in DRAM prices. South Korean tech giant Samsung Electronics OLED TVs have earned top ratings by leading U.S. consumer publication Consumer Reports. According to Yonhap News Agency on Tuesday, several Samsung OLED TV models along with a QLED TV were named the best televisions in Consumer Reports' latest evaluation. This achievement builds on Samsung's huge success at CES 2026 earlier this month, where its massive 130-inch micro RGB TV was named the winner in the Best of Innovation category. President Lee Jae-myung called an alleged civilian drone flight towards North Korea something that should not happen. Presiding over a cabinet meeting on Tuesday, he called for a thorough investigation and mentioned the possibility of a state institution being involved in the case. North Korea early this month claimed that South Korea had violated its sovereignty through recent drone incursions against which it strongly protested. The Defense Ministry is looking into the case of a graduate student claiming to have flown a drone into the north. The student reportedly worked at the presidential office under former President Yoon Suk-yeol. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi announced Monday that she will dissolve the House of Representatives on the opening day of the ordinary diet session on Friday, triggering a snap general election. The lower house campaign will begin on January 27th, with the election and vote count on February 8th, making the 16-day campaign period the shortest in Japan's post-war history. Analysts cite the ruling party's weakened position and strained relations with China following Takaichi's remarks on Taiwan as contributing factors. Takaichi defended the decision, saying her administration is pursuing major reforms, including sweeping changes to economic and fiscal policy. Her decision marks only the second such dissolution at the opening of a regular diet session in 60 years. Tuesday marks Daehan, the coldest day of the year on Korea's traditional calendar, as an intense cold wave grips the nation. Wind chill temperatures in Seoul are expected to plunge to minus 18 degrees Celsius, with sub-zero conditions forecast to persist throughout the week. Lee Seung-jae has more.
Tuesday marks Daehan, the coldest day of the year according to Korea's traditional calendar, and is living up to its name as severe cold grips the country. In Seoul, wind chill temperatures are expected to fall as low as minus 18 degrees Celsius. A surge of cold air moving south from the north since Sunday night is driving frigid conditions nationwide. Cold wave advisories have been issued for most parts of the country, with the exception of the East Coast and parts of Jeollanam-do Province, Gyeongsangnam-do Province, and Jeju Island. A higher-level cold wave warning is in effect for northeastern Gyeonggi-do Province and much of western Gangwon-do Province, where conditions are especially severe. Morning temperatures in central regions are expected to drop below minus 10 degrees Celsius on Tuesday. Southern regions will also see sub-zero readings, ranging from minus 10 to minus 5 degrees. Across the country, morning lows are forecast to range from minus 17 to minus 2 degrees Celsius, while daytime highs will remain cold between minus 4 and 7 degrees. Forecasters say the cold snap will persist through the rest of the week. In Seoul, morning temperatures are expected to remain below minus 10 degrees Celsius through Sunday. 이승재, Arirang News.
Korean musical theatre celebrated a year of exceptional achievements, with a record number of original productions recognized at the Korea Musical Awards. The industry's continued growth reflects its expanding creative range and strong connection with audiences. Jo Young-eun tells us more.
The Korea Musical Awards celebrated its 10th anniversary in Seoul on Monday and also marked a historic high for the number of submitted productions for this year's event. The grand prize went to The Man in Hanbok, while Maybe Happy Ending and Granny Poetry Club won in the Best Musical Awards category.
We will be back soon with an encore performance, reborn as The Man in Hanbok, with an even more evolved presence.
The Bridges of Madison County earned both Best Actor and Best Actress honors, awarded to Park Eun-tae and Cho Jung-eun. Among the standout works was Behind the Moon, a one-man musical about Apollo 11 astronaut Michael Collins. The writer describes standing on stage as part of the creative team as an especially meaningful moment.
When I was studying musical theater in New York, my professors often said, people should go to Korea rather than Broadway. That was about 10 years ago. Today, with the rise of so many outstanding original Korean musicals, I believe we can say that with confidence.
Korean musicals saw remarkable growth over the past year, marked by a surge in productions, rising audience engagement, and increasing recognition both at home and abroad.
As Korean musicals mark their 60-year history, they are continuing to evolve in dynamic ways. A wide range of original productions is being developed, and many are actively expanding overseas.
Since the curtain first rose in 1966, original Korean musicals have undergone 6 decades of rapid and dynamic growth. From small local productions to globally recognized original works, the industry has continued to evolve at a remarkable pace. As Korean musicals celebrate their 60th anniversary, the industry is now poised to take on greater global challenges, expanding its reach on the international stage. Jo Young-eun, Arirang News.
K-beauty is best known for skincare and cosmetics, but a new trend is putting the focus on scalp care. From head spas to specialized treatments, foreign tourists are increasingly visiting Korea to experience professional scalp care services. Our Jung Hae-rim files this report.
At a hair and beauty salon in Seoul's Myeongdong district, foreign customers receive scalp care services. One customer sits in a chair as a specialist examines her scalp with a micro camera. Close-up shots reveal clogged pores, oil buildup, redness, and even flakes. The customer says she's seeing these for the first time. Step by step, the salon treats her scalp. From deep cleansing, exfoliation, massages, and even a waterfall-like shampoo machine, the process is meticulous. After the session, the specialist once again scans the customer's head with the camera, which shows a visibly healthier scalp.
It was really amazing, and I think clean scalp made it really special because you can see the result at the end of the treatment that you had a dead skin before, and after you don't have it, and you can feel refreshed.
Clinics like this say foreign customers have surged in recent years.
Many customers decide to try a scalp spa as soon as they start planning their trip to Korea. Some even book their appointments 1 or 2 months in advance.
Scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, videos of Korean scalp treatments are going viral and are fueling curiosity. Hair salon managers say this was driven by Korean specialties.
Foreign customers really appreciate how thorough the treatments are in Korea, especially the hands-on techniques. Unlike many places abroad, scalp diagnosis and consultation are included in one session.
According to data from Korea Trip, a Korean travel platform for foreign visitors, spending on K scalp care services from January to November rose 219% year-on-year in 2025. The boom is being led by visitors from Western countries, who account for 58% of total bookings.
I was just thinking when I was getting the treatment done, I need to text my friends to look into doing something like this, because I feel like in the United States we don't have as much information about taking care of your scalp and hair.
What was once considered as a niche beauty service is becoming a must-try experience for foreign visitors to Korea. As K-beauty continues to evolve, scalp care is emerging as Korea's next global export. 정혜림, Arirang News.
This is The World Now, bringing you everything you need to know from around the globe. Spanish officials warn the death toll may still rise from Sunday's train crash that has killed at least 40 people. The crash happened near Ademuz in Andalusia at 7:45 p.m. Sunday, when the rear of the Malaga to Madrid train derailed, then slammed into an oncoming Madrid to Huelva train on a neighboring track. The impact threw multiple carriages off the rails, sending them down a 4-meter slope. Officials say some victims were found hundreds of meters from the site. Rescue crews are still searching wrecked train carriages for more bodies. Spain's government declared 3 days of national mourning as investigators work to determine why a modern train on a newly renovated track derailed. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to meet global business elites in Davos on Wednesday, turning the World Economic Forum into a stage for U.S. economic and geopolitical pressure. The White House has invited top executives across finance, crypto, and consulting to a reception hosted by Trump following his special address to the World Economic Forum. The meetings take place against the backdrop of Trump's recent moves, including tariff threats against Europe and demands linked to Greenland, dominate closed-door talks among global leaders. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warned Europe not to retaliate, urging allies to take the president's intentions seriously. Security advisors from multiple nations will also convene on the sidelines of the summit. Russia launched a large-scale drone assault on Ukraine's energy system overnight, cutting electricity to 5 regions amid freezing temperatures. Ukrainian officials said on Monday that Moscow fired 145 drones, with air defenses downing most, but several strikes still damaged critical power and gas infrastructure in Odessa, Kharkiv, Sumy, Dnipropetrovsk, and Chernihiv. Energy companies report tens of thousands of households without electricity as emergency crews race to restore power. Italian fashion legend Valentino Garavani has died at age 93. The Valentino Garavani and Giancarlo Giametti Foundation confirmed his death on Monday in a public statement, stating that Valentino died at home in Rome. For nearly 5 decades, Valentino dressed royals, first ladies, and Hollywood stars, building one of Italy's most influential luxury fashion houses and defining red carpet elegance with his signature Valentino red. Italy and the global fashion world are now mourning a designer who shaped modern high fashion. Daehan, Arirang News.
It's Daehan today, which means great cold on the traditional seasonal calendar, and we need to brace for a full-scale cold wave. The strongest cold spell of the season is here, with cold wave alerts being in place across much of Korea, and strong wind is dragging down the feels-like temperatures by about 5 degrees. And this intense cold wave is set to persist through the weekend with no relief in the forecast. Feels like temperatures during the day could be close to minus 10 degrees Celsius in the capital area. And this afternoon, Seoul gets up to just minus 3 degrees Celsius, Daegu at 4 degrees, Busan topping out at 7 degrees under sunny skies nationwide. So if you're traveling to Seoul or the surrounding areas from the southern parts of Korea this week, make sure to dress extra warmly and cover up. Meanwhile, heavy snow is expected across the Jeollado provinces and Jeju this week. Well, it looks like it's going to be a rough week, so please stay safe out there and take it easy.
That's all we have for today's noon edition of Arirang News. Thank you for watching. Arirang News will be back at 5 p.m. Korea time. Stay tuned.